Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another videos of the paid request, this time from my friend Efree. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, Efree wanted me to talk about, well, actually it's four. It'll be 4 videos. 3 on the TV show The Amazing Spider-Man, and 1 on another episode, well, fan film. I'll get to that, of Star Trek. But this is about the Amazing Spider-Man pilot. Now, the show was from 1977 to 1979, and Stan Lee, I guess, sold the idea to CBS. Of course, that was around the time you had other successful shows. You had The Incredible Hulk, you had Wonder Woman, even superhero shows like The $6 Million Man, other stuff. So yeah, why not Spider-Man? Nicholas Hammond plays Peter Parker, which he would voice Spider-Man 2099 in the video game Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which I played about a month ago at this recording. I find it funny the director of this pilot is E.W. Swathammer. I'm like, that sounds like a Spider-Man villain. E.W. Swathammer. Now, I know I've seen this pilot before. I didn't see the rest of the episode, so the next 2 is my first time. I understand the time period it was made. You had to have some kind of leeway because it's going to be a cheaper budget. It is for TV. Granted, this pilot went in theaters overseas, which I think was a mistake because it's 1977. You see this in theaters the same year as Star Wars, and then, oh, around the corner, here's Superman the movie. The Amazing Spider-Man or Superman the movie. It's like, it's going to be a big contrast between the two, but which is, and it's not going to be fair because this is TV. But yeah, it's just weird that they put this in theaters in other countries. But they did. And this did well in the ratings, but CBS, they're never 100% sure and gung-ho about the show. Because even though it was doing well in the ratings, it cost a bit of money to make. And they wanted older audiences to watch it as well, because they cared about that. And that's why it would be on, but not on, but then they would take it off, but then would put it on whenever they felt like it. And after pretty much 2 seasons, they just said goodbye, it's done. Move on from there. So were not a whole lot of episodes made of this. And it's like, well, we don't want to be a superhero network, and right now, if it does well in the ratings and it makes money, then fine. But here, again, they felt it was a bit too expensive. I guess kind of like CBS did that again with The Flash in 1990. Although I like that show much more than this, much more than this, and maybe that's why it's hard for me to give leeway because I need to get the Blu-ray of The Flash. I have the DVD there. I looked at that show. I really enjoy that show. Like, that's a really good superhero show. But then I see this, and it's like, even The Incredible Hulk, I've seen those episodes, and there's a lot more merit in terms of drama, tugging the heartstrings, Bill Bixby's performance as David Banner, and some of the deeper stories they have. And Lou Ferrigno is such a great, imposing figure. He is a special effect unto himself. Here, though, I'm not a big fan of what I saw in these episodes. I love Spider-Man. I read a lot of the comics of Spider-Man. I hate to say this, I would even rather watch the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie compared to these. And I'm not a fan of. I don't mind Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 1 has not held up well for me. But if I gotta be honest, Nicholas Hammond I like more as Peter Parker than Tobey Maguire, but just the production value, the action, the music, has just a lot more better qualities compared to this stuff. Because again, I get that it's a TV show. I get it. It just some will find it charming. The Incredible Hulk, the stuff I've seen, I've liked some of that stuff. Here, it just seems, and you know how much I hate this word, cheesy. And there's a show like cheesy fits well for this. And being a fan of Spider-Man, knowing much more than Hulk, because I don't know much about Hulk, I didn't read much of the comics. The fact that there's no Uncle Ben, barely an Aunt May, there's really not much to Peter Parker. Like, Bill Bixby brought so much pathos as David Banner. So much more to it. Then when you see, that stuff, it just has much more of a feel and much more of a impact. But when you see this, it's like Nicholas Hammond is okay. He's fine as Peter Parker. He seems a bit old, though, to be a college student. I think he was like 27, 28 at the time. He looks even older. He looks like he's 30. So he seems a bit too old for the part. He does well with the sincerity part. A guy that means well, that wants to do the right thing. See, I liked him for that sincerity a lot more than Tobey Maguire. I will say that. But as Spider-Man, you still don't have any of the wit, the humor, wisecracks, which is a big part of Spider-Man, and you have none of that in it. Neither did Tobey. They tried a couple times, it was awful. But you don't really have any of that. When he's Spider-Man, he rarely talks. If he does, he's pretty straightforward. So that's what I mean. It's like it didn't feel like Spider-Man to me, because he wasn't fun. He wasn't funny. He wasn't wisecrack. He was like he had the costume on, but as Spider-Man, he didn't feel like it. And because it's a TV show, and because you're not going to have big superhero, like super villains, which Hulk did not as well. When you don't have the pathos of Bill Bixby and that stuff, it just comes off as more lousy for me. Because, okay, the pilot is the origin of Spider-Man, but it's also about people being hypnotized into robberies, and then apparently 10 people will end their lives if you don't pay me $50 million. Granted, why would the police believe in this extortion plot? Yes, these two people, a doctor and a lawyer, did some stuff, but there'd be an investigation of, are they part of it? Were they blackmailed? Hey, maybe they flipped. But to believe in hypnotism and that scale, it'd be much harder. But I get it, this is not real life, this movie. So it goes from Peter Parker being this college student, doing this experimentation, where the spider gets in the case, it starts glowing. Peter looks at something, he gets bit, and all of a sudden he has these powers. I mean, barely any Aunt May. There's no Uncle Ben. There's no great power, great responsibility. There's none of that. There is J. Jonah Jameson, and him, Peter, want to be a photographer, so there is that. But again, all this stuff that made Peter Parker an interesting character, how day-to-day life he goes through the up and down trials and tribulations that we all do to make him relatable as a character. Barely able to pay the rent. The food gets screwed up. The delivery got screwed up. His vehicle broke down, someone stole something of his, all the little things that happened to make his life tough, as well as trying to be a hero. There's none of that. So it makes Peter Parker sincere with the way Nicholas Hammond plays it, but a bland character as well within the episodes of the show. And what's funny is that when I wish I could remember the actor's name. When Peter Parker is at the college doing these experiments, he has a buddy. His buddy, I think, would have been a better Spider-Man than him. Because he looked younger. He looked more like a college student. When this guy comes in to give a package, and he's like, "Is this safe here?" And the guy goes, "Well, if you already have kids." Like, the way he was using humor, some wisecracks, he seemed younger. I'm like, this guy would have been a better Spider-Man. I think Nicholas Hammond does fine as Peter Parker, but this guy would have been fine as Peter Parker and would have been a better Spider-Man if he had that kind of wit. Why not this guy? Now, and I never saw the guy again, at least he wasn't in the other episodes I saw, which is too bad. I'm like, what about him? What about that guy? So again, we get into Peter Parker getting bit. This one of the people hypnotized. He has robbed something, and I guess he's driving his car hypnotized. Because what they do is people controlling them have them ram their cars into something, so they get knocked out or dead, and the people can go and grab the money. Peter Parker sees this, goes in this alley that's like a huge dead end. Why there's this huge dead end in this lawn alley, I have no idea. Just like this lawn ass with a dead end. I'm like, why? There's nothing around there. There's no reason. There's no trash. There's nothing there. It's just a place for him to be trapped. And then he climbs up the walls. Now, when he climbs up, it's a shot of the car crashing, but more like it's parked and already trashed. Now, to give credit where credit's due, the rigging on the climbing sequences, with cables and how they're able to do that, for 1977, I commend, and a TV show, I commend them for that. There's some cool looking shots of the wall climbing. Later on, there's a purse snatcher. He looks up, and then in the same frame, you see this big building wall and someone climbing up or climbing down, Spider-Man. That was cool to see. Or, and this is neat to see in the other episodes, at times it goes into a POV. Whether he's climbing and you see the point of view, you see his hands, there. In one later one, he does a swing to these people who are rioting at this museum, and see a POV of him swinging down. I think in the next one, The Deadly Dust, there's a POV of him in a fist fight. So you see like a guy doing this, and you see like Spider-Man's hands up, like, put up your dudes. When they throw those little bits in there, okay, that's kind of interesting. It's different. It's unique, especially for the time. Because there's not a whole lot of times you saw a POV of someone. Granted, they only do it sporadically. They do it very few times. But when it does, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. That's more unique visual direction that, again, you did not normally see, especially at that time. On the flip side, it should be called the Amazing Wall Crawler, not the Amazing Spider-Man. Because 9 times out of 10, the more genuine shots of, whoa, it's wall climbing. Jumping up and climbing on the ceiling, climbing the walls. So again, the Amazing Wall Crawler is what they should have been called. because it doesn't have the quite the flypaper man. You know, with the again the car chase that was 20 feet per hour, which I'm like, you could literally just climb on the car and just go over. Like you didn't have to run. It's going that slow. Like literally, I just be like, okay, I'll just climb up and roll over. Also, and the reason I'm pausing is I'm realizing something. Out of the blue, he has a Spider-Man outfit. And I just realized that. Because there's a point where someone's in trouble, and all of a sudden he has a Spidey suit. I'm like, where the hell did he get the Spider-Man suit? Because he does this thing where he... I'm trying to wrap my brain around, where did he get the Spider-Man suit? All of a sudden he just has it. We don't see him make it, or that he had the idea of making it. It feels like it's happened on the same damn day. Maybe it's not technically, but it felt like it. He all of a sudden just has a Spider-Man suit. Is that what happens? You get bit by a radioactive spider? A Spider-Man suit's created over your body? Or did the spider make the suit and give it to him in secret? I know I bit you, man. I apologize that I bit your ass. I apologize, but here's a Spider-Man suit I made you, just in case. He never made the Spider-Man suit. Where did the Spider-Man suit come from? He just has it. By osmosis. Or magic. Maybe Doctor Strange made it for him. I don't know. He just all of a sudden has a Spider-Man suit. I'm sorry, even for a TV show, that's stupid. I mean, that'd be like the Hulk. There's David Banner. And then he walks through a door, all of a sudden he's the Hulk. Without the transformation. You'd be like... Even they knew, no, have him transform. It's one of the great bits of the show. Here, it's like, no. He just has Spider-Man suit. How'd he get it? I have no idea. He just has it. And he climbs up to save this guy. Where did he get the suit? I don't know. And then for some reason, like, he's looked into these hypnotized people, and he's following this tractor thing. And he keeps sneezing. I don't understand why he kept sneezing. I don't remember them mentioning he had a cold before or after. He's like, Achoo. Achoo. Why the hell are you sneezing? That's not what I wanted to see Spider-Man sneeze in his damn mask and get his boogers over. Stop. Why are you sneezing? Just before they didn't mention he had a cold. He didn't have a cold before. He didn't have a cold after. So why the hell is he sneezing? Like, there's no reason for it. And then he tries to find these people and their security, which are samurai, I guess, or ninja, maybe ninja. Samurai. I say samurai because they have was it botans or is it shinais? Like wooden swords, sticks. I don't know if it was a botan or a shinai, but they have those. And the guy who plays Spider-Man, because for I understand for the most part it was a stunt double in the suit. He may be good at like doing the rig with the climbing. There's one instance that he swings, and then they reuse that later for other stuff, and including other shows. Like literally in the, was it Curse of Rock? One of these shows, they use the same damn swinging again to save on budget. But he's not much of a fighter. This Spider-Man can't fight. And it's embarrassing for me to watch as a fan when he can't fight for shit. He's like running around. He's always doing this with his arms. He could barely tick. He does one of these tits, like bat tits, and it's like he's ready to fall on his ass. It's like how I would do a bat tick without looking. I hope my foot connects the target. One of those things. Like, why not get a guy who's a martial artist? This is years after Enter the Dragon. You tell me you can't find a martial artist? He could be Asian even. It don't matter because he's wearing a mask. Get a martial artist that can do flips and bat flips and moves and martial arts. Why not do that? You'd even have one guy who's a martial artist and one guy who'll do like the swinging stunts, which is not many. It's only like one or two. Why not do that? As it gets cloudy and darker. Good. Fits my mood. I get more mad as I talk about it. And also, it's like they speed up the film at times during the fight. He does a mule kick where he gets on his hands and kicks people. Which, okay, I mean, Terrence Hill did it better. He climbs on the wall and does a little kick. He shoots his web that at times looks like Kleenex. I forgot that he gets out of there, he swings. He meets a girl who helps him out. I forgot, it's Lisa Albacher. Which, she was in Beverly Hills Cop 1. She was in this film I love called Leviathan. Oh, okay, I guess when I first saw this, I don't know if I recognized her. And the bad guy is Thayer David. And I know I recognize him. He was the fight promoter in the first Rocky. Like, if you watch the trailer for Rocky, he's like one of the first things you see. Is him talking with Sylvester Stallone. In the trailer, so he's the bad guy in this. And Peter Parker at times is an idiot. Like, he doesn't believe in hypnotism, and I'm like, dude, you got bit by a radioactive spider, and you have superpowers, but you don't want to believe in hypnotism. I think he walks into what is clearly a trap, but he still walks into it. And then he has superhuman strength. We saw him earlier after escaping the 20 feet per hour slow-moving car. And he's talking to the cops. He pulls a steering wheel out to help this guy get out of the car. So he has superhuman strength. But he barely uses it in this show. For some reason. There's so many times you will forget he has superhuman strength. You will remember in the Hulk. At least they remind you of that as they should. Because look how big Lou Ferrigno is. You will forget so many times Spider-Man has superhuman strength. Because I'm like, why does he just bust down the door? There's a door, kick it. If you could rip a steering wheel out, you could kick down the door. But he doesn't. Because he needs to get caught, so he could be hypnotized. So he's hypnotized, but then he's able to do stuff. He tries to go back to the lair again. He gets run out by the samurai guys again. He tries to sing again. Yeah. Like that musical that they canceled. After so many people got hurt. He swings, he gets... The web gets burnt by the bad guy, so he falls. Probably one of the few things I chuckled at is after the fall, he goes to this taxi cab guy. And I like the taxi cab driver. He looks at him and goes, "You ain't even got pockets in that suit. I'll give you money at my place." "No, you won't." And drives off. Like, that cab driver I liked. That's one of the few things that I chuckled at with this. And then even the ending is that much. He's hypnotized. He's ready to jump off a building. But lo and behold, he gets on this thing. And thankfully, he moves so this one pin gets impaled. How lucky can you get? So it's not about him outwitting or outmaneuvering or outsmarting. It's by pure blind luck that his first adventure didn't deal with death. And oh, thank God this one thing hit this one pin at this right moment. If it went to here or here, he'd be dead. So, and even then, he just goes and he pulls down one antenna. I'm like, that's all it took? Why the hell didn't you do that earlier? If all it had to take was pulling down one damn... Well, maybe he didn't know... He didn't figure it out at first. Well, he figured it out now, and that's all it took. As it starts raining. Maybe God's bad that I'm yelling about this movie. Well, too bad. Because the more I think about this movie, the more I just think this sucks. I really do. The more I just think this movie... Well, it sucks. Again, it's not because it's old. I like the Incredible Hulk show, and it's miles better than this. Miles better. And that's why that's a classic, and this is just some weird novelty. Now, I do have other episodes to get to, but this is the pilot. Listen, not a fan. Okay, I guess... Okay, great. So it's going to rain about 4 hours. That's great. Sorry. I was getting a bit darker here. If I turn the light, though, it's going to be a lot hotter, but we'll see. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Maybe the Dutch are pissed I didn't like it. I mean, if you liked it, that's cool. I think it's really lame. It's a really lame bit of business for Spider-Man. That's just me. Even for its time. Again, the Flash TV show. Other TV shows I will give more credit to. That's just me. But we'll get to the other two Spider-Man stuff among others. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.